welcome to the Skeff. It's the home of Corinthians in Galway City. This place has so much history. And you know what? If we kind of go back through the years, the connection between both the club and here, it's long and varied. And for another broadcast. Today, though, we are having a look back at a few things that have happened over the past couple of weeks, most specifically, I may add, last weekend, where we had a cracking win for the first when they beat Belfast Harlequins. Our girls' teams, phenomenal against Corrib and Castlebar. The youth teams, I have to mention the under-17s, they had a cracking win over Balna, scoring 33 points without reply. But several other teams come in for a very special mention, and that's the reason why these three are beside me to talk about it. I've got Michael Harding, who is our Director of Rugby. I've got Catherine Collins, who will talk to us about the girls' game, and Dave Watterson about the youths. You're all very welcome. Mike, I'll start with you. Great win against Belfast Harlequins. I was talking to Patrick Fagg during the week, and there was a bit of a smile on his face. But I mean, in fairness, it was a big win, and it was an important win given what happened with Instonians on the same day.
Yeah, we thought we were going to close the gap with Instonians. Fair play to them, they're a special team. Last minute kick, they're winning again. But we'll focus on ourselves. What was enjoyable about the game is we didn't take the foot off the pedal. We stayed going, scored a good few points again in the second half, put up 54 in total, 8 tries, a penalty try in there, 2 more tries, and some really, really good first phase tries, attacks and stuff. And so yeah, we're building nicely. Again, for I think the 4th time in 5 rounds now, we have the best defence on the day in our league and the best overall. So that's really trending in the right direction. But we have to stay on top of it. Definitely our defence, we have to stay on top of it and keep maturity in our attack as well.
But there's something about the team. I've looked at every single game kind of in retrospect, and there's this pace that just continuous. I mean, don't know when to let up, and that's a great thing about this team, that they don't know when to stop. They won't take their foot off the pedal, as you said.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of key points that we had to build on from last year. So last year was a really new team. Now we have a year together. A couple of new guys in, really important guys in, like Ruan. But we're very similar to last year. So we have a year experience, and the experience from last year is not keeping the foot on the throat, not keeping the foot on the accelerator, keep going forward. So that's what we have to do, because we had this habit of go 21-0 up, sit back, and that was really good about Dolphin. Like we went 19-0 up after 14 minutes, and Dolphin came back really well into that second quarter, really, really well a couple of weeks ago. But we held them out. We held them out till half time. We done really well. Okay, we gave up 1 try, like penalty try, we felt it was a bit harsh. But as far as we're concerned, we held them out really well. If that was last year, you're potentially looking at 21-19, 19-all, something like that at half time. But we're different this year. We're absolutely different. And the whole thing is go to the end. Absolutely go to the end. And we've been doing that quite well.
You know, I know South Africa have their bomb squad, but we have as well in our own way, because the guys who are coming in the second half, you know, they're not letting up the standard. That standard, if anything, sometimes goes up another level, which is hard for teams to handle.
Yeah, the depth in the squad is absolutely unbelievable, and it's incredible. And the testament to that is our seconds and 20s. Like our 20s, 6 wins in 7. They're 4 from 4 in JP2, and they're flying at the minute. A great win at the weekend. And the seconds they're sitting 3rd in the table, but they're in the Curly Cup final. They're doing really, really well, and they're playing really good rugby. They have a couple of really big wins under their belt as well. So the pressure coming from there into the first team is immense, and we all train together as one big group. And so yeah, like you have the likes of Joey Tierney, we had John Taffy coming off the bench, you had Emmanuel Garcia. Like you have some incredible players coming off the bench there.
I want to mention the under-20s, brilliant win against Buccaneers, considering they went under some severe pressure in the second half. Okay, wasn't to be for the seconds against Bucks, but that's kind of that was a funny game. I mean, it was very hard to make it out. The red card didn't help, but to be honest with you, I don't think Maliki deserved it. That's just my opinion. But you know, that was the kind of the thing. You're going to have those kind of little blips in the road, but this seconds team are getting better and better. Yeah. And that under-20s team is just unbelievable.
Yeah, the under-20s are doing incredible things at the minute, because they're still actually missing a lot of really good players that are out injured. Like I have no idea how Anthony and Morgan are going to pick that team in the new year, when because the guys, the likes of Jack Wise and Blaine Barry and the other guys, they'll be back in, and there'll be other guys coming in pushing down from the AIL as well. Like, so that the competitiveness in that squad is off the charts. Like the talent is incredible. Sunday, yeah, Bucks were very, very good in the second half. Their maul, their scrum is excellent, but our boys dug in and they Like we I think Jack kicked 5 from 6 off the tee, which is so
And
important.
one of them from halfway,
Yeah,
pretty much.
so important. Like he was immense. He's maturing really, really well. He's going to be an exceptional 10 in the IL team in a year or two. He's a quality player. And Joey doubled up. Joey was on the bench Saturday. Joey Tierney went out. He had a really good game on Sunday. Yeah, and then seconds, it's not fatal at all. Like 3 teams out of 8 go into the playoffs, so we're targeting third or second there. So we have 2 games now at home before Christmas, Ballyhonus and Corrib. Target them, try get 2 wins there, and we're hopefully in the playoffs to go up to the top league.
Now, we'll talk about Skerries in a couple of minutes, but Catherine, I want to move on to you because I mentioned in the introduction there were 2 fantastic wins for the girls. You had the win over Corrib on Friday night, including some 2 amazing tries that I think should be seen by everybody, to be honest. And then you had the combination team, Corwegians, as we're calling it, Corwegians, and a good win over, I think it was Castlebar.
Castlebar away,
I mean, we always talked about the promotion of the girls' game. This season, dare I say it more than any, it has just completely, we use the term exploded a lot, but this is definitely proof of it.
Yeah, we are. We've built a nice 3 squads now from the under-14s up. We have 60 girls training Mondays and Thursday nights out there. Like you said, the under-16s have merged with Galwegians at that level because for some reason that age group just seems to be the trouble spot. With the thing with the girls, it's every 2 years, so you kind of have a new team every year because you've girls moving up, you've girls coming through. So it takes them a few weeks to get to know each other and restart. But yeah, last weekend just everything clicked and everything went really well for them all.
The game on Friday night, though, was
brilliant.
Special.
Yeah,
some of the scores were just incredible.
You can't beat Friday Night Lights up in Corinthians. The 5 tries, like 3 of them were just runaways. Bella Davis got her first try. Gemma Lees is just blowing the opposition apart with her kicks and running on to get the ball. Like, she's just phenomenal. And then Maeve Flannery took the ball from a chip as well and went in. And then the last one was Megan Connolly. So, it's brilliant. And then our player of the week, the youth player of the week, came from that match, Maeve Flannery. Her tackle rate was unreal for that game. Like, I think she nearly put one girl into the sideboards. Like, she breaks them.
Yeah, well, Maeve's try was special because of the build-up to it. Because it went through a couple of phases and through the hands before she got it to touch it down. Yeah. But that's part of the work that's been done on the training field. You can't do it without that hard work that's been done by yourself.
Yeah, and in fairness to the girls, they are really committed. Like, they're all out there every Monday night, every Thursday night. There's girls out doing kicking practice on a Wednesday, every second Wednesday. They're in the gym with me on Wednesday nights. Like, they are full-hearted, committed. They're all playing with their schools, where the schools are playing. So, they're really coming on this year.
And it doesn't let up. We'll talk about the weekend to come in a few minutes. Dave, I'm going to go to yourself because I was talking about the under-17s putting 33 points past Ballina without reply on a 4G pitch. That was a pretty good performance, but I'm only singling out one team when we have got teams from, the minis are under 7s to 12s, and then you've got 12s, 13s, 14s, all the way up. I mean, it's been a decent weekend.
Yeah, they've done well to date. All the teams, we start the 18s. I think the 18s have played 2 and won 2. They've done really well. They've beat some big opponents there. I think they've beaten Sligo already this year. It's a big achievement for them. Go to 17s then. They lost a game. When they've won a game, so they're doing well. But the performance this bar now sets the scene for things to come. I think they've really set their stall out. They're not even, their defence is immense. Really good and strong team. The 16s are doing quite well. They had a good 5-0 win over Sligo at home. It was a tough old day out for them in bad weather, but they managed to get the try over and win it.
Sometimes they're the most important.
It really is, and it's a lot of lessons learned for the boys playing in that sort of game. Because sometimes some of our teams have go out and win quite well. To have that dogged fight and then to maintain that tight lead was really immense for them. The 15s, I'm involved with the 15s, so we've got nearly 60 boys registered in our age group, and we have a blue and a black team. And last weekend we put a white team out against Galway Bay Region's combined team. And a special mention to a little fella called Éamon Flynn. He took a bad knock, small in stature but massive heart in the child. He went in where he probably shouldn't have, but the brave part of him stepped in and he hit the ground hard, but he's doing well. He's back out. He went to hospital just to get checked over. But it's great to see the guys coming through like that. 14s is the same, so just to mention the 15s, we won't beat them this year. We've won the Connacht Cup under 13s, under 14s, and we're heading for another title. So both teams haven't lost this year, but the numbers work well, and it's a good coaching squad. And we have some of the senior players helping, which helps. So Another mention, Max Holmes, although he gets a lot of publicity as Max with all the tries he scores, and he tends to do well. But just he comes and helps us with the 15s, so our hookers can now throw it, because before that it was me, and I'm the forwards coach along with Paul Gill, and we were probably struggling to give them some of the basics. So it's great to have that support from some of the senior players as well.
You know, it's the small lads you have to always look out for, you know. So, I mean, you can see the likes of Ian, and, you know, doing us all, he's doing us all a good service, all of us under 5'8". But as we look at those teams now, and again, we talk about the work that's been done, because, like I said to Catherine, it's true, and very much so with you guys when you train during the week. You know, the work that's been done by the coaches, by people getting involved in these teams, and you mentioned Max and the senior boys that get involved, that's what turns these teams into the teams that make the headlines.
Absolutely. Well, as coaches, we're there to develop the players to the point where they can develop themselves. So a big input is to recognise where our limitations are and pull in expertise from different areas. So the senior squad are a really good asset and resource that we're tapping into. But we're getting to the stage of 15s and 16s where you coach the options, and then the decision making, that's the bit you can't coach. That's the bit that the players have to decide under pressure, and that comes with experience. So the more match time we can get all the players in that situation where it's split-second decisions under pressure when they're tired, that's when you know that you're doing well as a coach, because you can preach all you like at training, but that match readiness is a different thing, and that's where we're working. So having the input from different coaches once we go up to the age groups, really important.
And we must mention as well, because, you know, the likes of Brian Walsh and Sean Walsh, those lads are making international squads at underage level. These guys see what they do and know that if they work hard at their game and they continue doing what they're doing, that they have a chance of emulating what those lads have done.
Absolutely, and it's great that they have those role models to look at and name for, and realistic role models. Because sometimes as coaches we say we played and they laugh a little bit. You know, I didn't always look like this. Well, some of this I was a prop and a hooker myself, but it's great for them to have someone near their age with such success and following the pathway that they're on. So they see realistic, and the expectations are real. You know, that is a realistic expectation of players in these squads. Some of the players we have are phenomenal. The natural talent in Galway, not just in Corinthians, across the teams, is phenomenal. You know, Connacht will not be shy of players in the future. It's just keeping them in the sport. In Ireland, as you can tell, I'm from the Island man originally, but we don't have the GAA as an issue. So it always is an issue underage where they're pulled, especially 15s, 16s, when it's you have failure and they've been pulled from pillar to post, keeping them interested in the sport. If they need to bow out to the physicality of the other sports, we don't discourage that. We get stuck in, play the sports you need to, come back to rugby and stay with rugby, because we keep on that pathway, then they stay with us. So our job is to keep as many involved as we can and have the enjoyment from the sport that we have. It's not just on the game time, it's everything else that we get from sport that we need to provide them.
It really is, and you mentioned the very, very, very special word, pathway, because that really is the case, and not a million miles away from those age groups. Of course, like Fiachna Barrett, Mike and John Devine, part of the under-20 side that got to a World Cup final, they're part of the senior setup now. You have likes of Finn McNulty, you have lads who've played at interprovincial level and at a high level internationally as part of the first squad. So, I mean, that's always a big thing as director of rugby, if I can get you to put that jumper on, that's what, you know, gives the inspiration for the younger lads, because they see what the senior boys are doing, and they might have seen some of them on telly and realise, you know, these lads are Corinthians like I am, and that's also inspiration for them.
Yeah, I suppose your Kyle Ford is what he's doing at the minute is absolutely incredible. A Corinthian true and true there. So I've been here now for 4 years. I had 2 years working really closely with Fordy, and exceptional talent, and you could see he was just about making that breakthrough last year. And we're absolute. So we get to a stage where they go into the academy. You hope you get them for another year or two, and then they get past the Irish 20s, and that's potentially your last year you're going to have with them, because we don't want them after that. We want them breaking through. Like, we're delighted Fordy's not playing for us this year. We don't want Fordy this year. We want him taking Bundy Atkins jersey. That's the bottom line. Like, so yeah, and then for the last 3 years, 18, 17, 20s, they're seeing Fordy out there playing on a Saturday, and then suddenly they see him in the sports ground on a Saturday afternoon, picking up man of the match twice, I think, in the first 2 games. Like, it's incredible. Like, you know, there's the pathway, as you say. Like, it's there.
Yeah, the man that
and it's not just about the kind of green jersey either. Like, coming through and playing AIL for rugby for Corinthians is unbelievably important as well. And it's hopefully anyone that's slightly below that level has aspirations to do. And just below that as well is the guys that aren't quite good enough to play AIL rugby. they tend to fall off after 18s, and they definitely tend to fall off after 20s. Keeping them guys involved in your club is so important. That's the lifeblood of your club. Your third team is so important. And guys, so when they come through from 20s, like I stood up at the AGM last year, and one of the really important things for me was something I would judge myself being successful on is how many of the guys that aren't good enough for AIL rugby, when they leave 20s, are going to play for us, are going to stay in. And a couple of weeks ago, our 20s played over in Galwegians, and they had a really good win. And after that, the thirds game was on, and I think there was 8 guys who played under 20s last year or the year before playing for our thirds, and that's brilliant.
Yeah, and that thirds team as well. We're starting to get a bit more interested in how they're getting on because they're coming up with big results. I want to talk about the weekend ahead now, if I can, and of course this coming weekend, an away trip to Skerries. Interesting.
It is very interesting. It's they had a tough start, but since then the first 2 games they didn't win. They beat Dolphin, and they have 2 draws up north. I think 30-all with Belfast and 15-all with Dungannon at the weekend. That's an incredible result. So like they're going to be no pushovers, but we don't really focus too much on the opposition. We'll have a couple of clips of them tomorrow night at training, and we will focus on ourselves. And it's just building on what we've done the last 2 weeks. We know what the ingredients are to win now. It's keep possession. It's being mature with our possession. It's exiting really, really well. It's doing those really simple things really well, and then the X factor takes over after that. Like, we're scoring maul tries, so we should never move away from the maul if it's winning. Like, if it's doing the job. Like, it's keeping that really simple stuff. And the other side of the ball then is our defence. Keep tipping along, doing what we're doing. 7, 8, 12 points. If we can keep Skerries at that, we'll do well. But we know. It'll be interesting to see what pitch to put us on. It's a grass pitch and a 4G pitch, so that'll be interesting to see where we're playing. But it'll be a tough battle. They're not falling away. They're not dying away. They're a good team.
I want to mention our next home game. It's on the 9th of December. That's going to be one where you would hope to have a massive crowd because we're getting close to Christmas. Different things are happening. And what a way to start off the Christmas it would be, because I think, is it one game after that before the Christmas break, or is it after that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're the week after that we are up in Sligo. Yeah, so
interesting.
Yes,
now that is interesting.
Yes. So yeah, that's Rainy at home on the 9th. Hopefully we'll sell out the third floor of the club with our pre-match lunch. That's really important for the club. And after that, then actually that evening, the seconds are playing at home to Corrib. We hopefully might get that game moved a bit earlier to double them up nicely. But yeah, it's going to be a big day. Our last home game of the year, and in a tough block, we have 6 games here in this block and the next block, and 2 at home, 4 away. So that's a really important game for us.
Catherine, about the weekend ahead, the girls are in action.
Yeah, the under-18s travel to Buccaneers on Sunday morning to take on Buccaneers, and then the under-16s are at home to Loughrea at 3 o'clock, both on Sundays. So they'll be good matches. Now, I know Bucks don't have full commitment to girls, so they'll be going down to 12 aside, I think. So, but that'll suit our girls too, because wider pitches, more kicking space, they'll love that. And then the under-16s will be a tough one now with Loughrea. It's always a battle with them, so it should be good.
And Dave, I was looking at the fixture list. It's, again, jam-packed with the lads.
Yeah, I've got a list in front of me to make sure I don't miss anyone. So this week, the 13s, I better mention the 13s. I haven't yet. They're not playing this week. They've got a weekend off. They've got 2 teams, but neither team have, they'll keep the score. But let's just say that the cup is looking hopeful for them. I can't. It's an uncompetitive league, so we don't record the score, but some fabulous players. The 14s, I think we're away to Galway Bay on the 14s. They're top of the second in the table. They lost to Ballinasloe last weekend. They're looking to a great game, bounce back against Galway Bay. So that should be a good match. The 15s are away to Sligo. So the A team are travelling to Sligo in Division 1, and our B team are away to Ballinasloe. So both teams are unbeaten against teams that are both, I think, unbeaten. So that should be a big weekend ahead for them. The 16s, they're heading away to Buccaneers. So another big match for them. So let's see if they can maintain their form and win that one. 17s then, they're home to Sligo. So another big game, another top of the table clash. And then 18s, they're playing Wegians away, Benina. So that would be another big game. So plenty of football to look forward to this weekend.
No, and absolutely. Now, just before we go, I want to remind you as well that day of the game with Rainy, there's also going to be a very special event taking place, because we are going to be picking an all-star selection, and they will be honoured at the pre-match lunch against Rainy on the 9th of December. It's going to be an all-star selection featuring some phenomenal names from past Corinthian days who will be getting true, I suppose, appreciation and acknowledgement for what they have done over the past number of years in the Corinthians jersey. So if you fancy being part of it, get in touch with us in Corinthians. You won't want to miss that afternoon, I can promise you. It's going to be very, very special. In fact, it's going to be a great evening. These pre-Christmas games are always fantastic evenings and nights, if I'll be honest with you. So make sure that you join us. We are here in this Skeff. I want to thank everybody here, Patrick and everybody, the girls behind the camera and the lights as well. Without G, it couldn't be done. To Michael, Catherine and Dave as well, my sincere thanks, and to you for watching. Please support our sponsors. Please get here to the Skeff over the Christmas period as well, because I'll tell you, you will not be disappointed. A fantastic place, and it's great to be here to talk with these guys this afternoon in this historic and, what dare I say it, legendary place. Thanks indeed for watching. Bye-bye.